Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, it is my absolute favorite time of year. It is Valentine's. Well, it's almost Valentine's. And before you come at me with all your, oh, Valentine's Day is a made-up holiday and it's a Hallmark holiday and it doesn't mean anything. Here's what it means. It means we get to sit around and talk about romance books, and y'all know how I love me a good sappy romance. So before we get into all that, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. Yeah, y'all, Valentine's Day is coming, whether you like it or not, so we may as well hunker down and get ready for it. And I debated whether we should start with our Valentine's TBR or our TBP. Our to be read list or our to be purchased list. And I decided to start with the TBR because the R-ing or the reading is going to take us longer than the purchasing. So I want to talk about my TBR this week, and then next week I'll do like gifts for readers, or maybe things that we need to be comfortable in our reading. I don't know. I'll come up with something for like some kind of gift giving guide for next week, so you can either look at it and see what kind of things you might want, or just pass it on to your intern and say, hey, look through this list and see what kind of things you think you might want to get me for Valentine's Day. Either which way, that's next week. This week, we're talking books. And y'all, I have a stack. So I've divided them, as always. I've tried to have some kind of like order and logic to this thing, but let's see how it goes. So I'm going to start with some fantasy books. I feel like we've talked about this book before, but I have yet to read it. So Divine Rivals is, not sure where I got it or how I ended up with it, but everybody is reading it now and they're loving it. And y'all, there's like a, I don't know what, I just noticed there's like a ridge in the cover. I don't know what that is. But anyway, so look at this. Somebody just rang my doorbell. My dogs are about to go nuts. Hang on, y'all. I'll be right back. It was the Walmart. Did I say that already? Anyway, so Divine Rivals. Whoa, oh, we were looking at the inside. Look at this. Did I show y'all this? So I'm stalling because I don't really know what this book is about. I feel like I knew more about this before than I do now. And now the felons were all settled down before, but now they're all ganked up because, you know, the Walmart. I think Divine Rivals has something to do with war, maybe. All right, y'all go lay down. Go on, stop. I know, I'm sorry, go lay down. I think our characters like meet at war, or they're rivals in a war, or maybe they're gods rivaling in a war. I don't really know, but look how pretty it is. Something about writing, because look, it's typewriter. And I think, are those typewriter keys on the cover? I swear I knew more about this before. I don't remember what I knew before, but Divine Rivals. Now, I'm already stressing myself out about this. Caraval. Nailed it. When I hauled this book ages ago, somebody, I can't, call me out in the chat, somebody noticed when I hauled this book that I kept saying carnival. And she was like, is it just your accent? Because it sounds like you're saying, no, it wasn't just my accent. I was looking at the book and like reading the name and calling it carnival instead, you know, like the, you know, big festival down in Rio. And I was saying carnival because, you know, I'm fancy. So I have not read this book yet. I mean, and that was a while ago that I got it. I'm going to need a little sip of my beverage for this. I haven't read it because I'm so nervous about trying to talk about it, and that every time I try to say Caraval, it's Caraval, right? I'm going to say Carnival. So I've decided I'm going to do the Beetlejuice test. If I can say Carnival 3 times without saying no. Okay, I just failed time number 1. if I can say the actual title of this book 3 times without saying the name of the like real life festival in Rio, then I'll read it and we'll talk about it. But until I can do it, Carnival. Until I can say Carnival 3 times without saying Carnival, then I'm not doing it. And I don't want to read it and not talk about it because I've heard it's amazing. People love it. And y'all, let me know in the chat. I think book 2 is better than book 1. And I think book 1 is really good. Oh, I thought it was going to be pretty. They tricked me because the edge of the page is pretty. But I wonder if it's one of those where like this page is really pretty in the hardcover, so they wanted to make it look like it is. What, I don't even know what I'm talking about now, but because I just embarrassed myself. But now y'all know, now you've seen in real time why I can't read this book. So there's that. Do we even talk about what it's about? I think. So this makes it even worse. I think it's about, so these are fantasy. What are we even talking about? So this first stack of books we're doing are fantasy books. Did I even say that? I think our main character gets invited to this big celebration. That's all I know. That's all I even think that I know. Something about her getting invited to Carnival, which is some like big celebration, and there's something about them trying to get there or not being able to go, something about it. Remember, it's only a game. So, Carnival, that's 2. Doesn't really count. Akatar. This is going back on the list of books that I need to read because now we've done, because now that we read Fourth Wing, and y'all, I really want to read, what is the next, there's something about a flame, the next Fourth Wing book. I really want to read that, but I feel like I need to read this first, not because like they have anything to do with one another, but those were the ones that I got just scoriated. Is that the word I'm looking for? I got just roasted last year because I hadn't read either of these books. So I've now read Fourth Wing, but I haven't read ACOTAR yet. So A Court of Thorns and Roses is on my, and this is like, I don't know that it's a romance, but there's at least some like, brown chicken, brown cow in this one, right? So I'm going to count it on it's in my stack of romances for, why did I just almost say Halloween? I don't even know. All right. Once Upon a Broken Heart, I believe is it a fairy tale retelling? Evangeline, I think, is the main character who is in love with some dude who's going to marry somebody else. So she makes a deal with the Prince of Hearts, maybe? And of course it goes badly for her because you never make a deal with somebody to make somebody else's something happen because the deal always goes wrong. So this is one of those, I think you love it or you hate it. It's got pretty high good, I think it's like a 4+ in Goodreads, but some people just really don't like it. So I believe, y'all look at the typeset, can you see it? I believe it's YA. Just based on the typeset, because I really don't know. Obviously, I don't know a whole lot about it because y'all heard my description. But I was about to say, why do I feel like I know this author's name? Seriously, y'all. So we might not read both of these. But I can say Once Upon a Broken Heart multiple times in a row without calling it something else. So this one might have just leapt ahead in the running for which books we're going to read first. Just saying. Such a ding-dong. All right, Powerless. I don't know a whole lot, unlike the other books that we've already talked about. I don't know a whole lot about this one or about Lauren Roberts, the author, but I believe this is, I think it's a series. All right, y'all, I really don't know a whole lot about this, but look how pretty it is. I'm not judging it by its cover. I just bought it because look how pretty it is. I know. We've had some really pretty books that really... Remember that... Okay, we're not getting back into that awful thing at Christmas that I bought and read, and it was awful, and it scarred me. So, this is lovely, and it's not going to scar me. Look. It's got these. Look. How can that be bad? Can y'all even see those? They're like little, like, scroll works on the pages. How can that possibly go wrong? I know. So I believe it is about a striated society where some folks have some kind of powers and then other folks are ordinary. And I think our heroine is maybe in love with the prince or being courted by a prince or something about a connection between her and the prince. And he thinks that she is not ordinary, but she is oh so very ordinary. So it's about her faking like she is whatever they call the like not powerless people, but that she's actually powerless. So, Powerless. Look at y'all, we're totally reading this book. Look how lovely, but it's kind of long. So if it sucks, that's going to be a long road of suck. Almost 500 pages of suck. If it sucks, but I don't think it does. It's too pretty. All right, let's move on to our, I think these are all not fantasy. Shatter Me. Y'all, I've been collecting this series, though I know really nothing about it. I know that I have heard, I think, that people have said that like the relationship between the main character whose name, do I know her name? I don't think I know her name. Is it something with it like Alexa, something with an A? I don't know. Anyway, I think that I know that the main character, like the relationship between the main character, and is the dude's name Warren or Warner or something? I really don't know. But I think that I've heard that the relationship between her and like the main dude is like abusive or like it's not cool. And that's really all I know, that he's abusive or mean to her or something. So, Shatter Me. And did I say I've like collected a bunch of books, like a bunch of books in this series and have literally read not word one? I don't know why I do that. Hi, I'm Danielle. I have a problem. I'm a book hoarder. So, Shatter Me. I think I am going to go ahead and read this for sure, just to rip off the Band-Aid so that I can stop buying books in the series if I don't like it. Because I seriously have like 6 of them. My touch is power. I really don't know what that means at all. So, Shatter Me. Things we never got over. So I asked y'all know I love Lucy's score. And for some reason, I had in my mind that this was sad. And I wonder if I had mixed this up with Colleen Hoover. I know. Shame me. Although I haven't read any Colleen Hoover books, but I think those all like make you cry. And then somebody said, no, Things We Never Got Over is not sad, and that she read it and loved it and couldn't stop reading it. So I'm 100% reading this book, Things We Never Got Over, by Lucy Score. I know nothing about it, but having read, I don't know, is this my 3rd or 4th Lucy Score book? It's going to be, there's going to be some kind of like, we shouldn't be together, or like a grumpy sunshine, like one of them is grumpy, the dude's going to be hot, and the girl's probably going to be attractive too, and it's going to start off that they are 100% not going to be together, and then they're going to end up together, and there's going to be some really good sex scenes. So that is my preview of what this is going to be. Here's one for the, what do you call people that don't like Valentine's Day? Isn't there like a singles Valentine's Day, like little catchy? Anyway, I think this is going to be one for y'all. Butcher and Blackbird. Just the title is luscious. Look at this cover. I think this is about some serial killers who go out serial killing other serial killers. Y'all. Seriously. I'm so excited for this book. And I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about it, and I haven't heard a whole lot of good things about it, but the only things that I've heard about it are good things, if that makes any sense at all. Like, not a whole lot of people talk about it, but what they say about it is that they love it. So I think this is one of the, like, I mean, you go into it knowing that it's a serial killer love story. I'm so stoked to read this book. Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. Love in Other Words. How many TBR, has this been on a TBR before? I don't know if we've had this on a TBR, but I know I've hauled it. I know I've talked about it. I've had it upstairs. I've brought it downstairs. I have a TBR cart over there that y'all have not seen because it is an absolute dumpster fire. I bought, well, it's my third one. The other two that I bought with like the spaces in between the shelves were too narrow, so books wouldn't fit on them. So I finally got one that books will fit on. But I put too many books on it and it like crushed the wheels and fell over. So now I've taken the wheels off of it and it leans. And the intern's like, so can we possibly get rid of that and just get a bookshelf? And I was like, no, we have a bookshelf. Look, can y'all see? There's a bookshelf right there. But the intern and I are locked in battle because he has like collector's books on. Hang on, let me show y'all. Ignore the dust, don't judge me. But he's got these like collector's books on there that he won't let me, I don't want to like get rid of them, but I want to move them. So the Harvard Classics, anyway, so he has these we have built-in, lovely built-in bookshelves that I could put my actual like to be read books on, but he has these nobody's ever going to read them books on them. And like we are seriously, it's been 13 years we've been locked in battle about that we need to move those books and put actually books on like actual like we're going to read them books on those bookshelves. So I say all that to say I have a TBR cart over there that is such a dumpster, like leaning dumpster fire, that I'm not going to show it to y'all. But the intern's like, can we maybe get rid of that and get a bookshelf over there? Because this is not your third grade classroom. And I couldn't even argue because having a like rolling book cart in the living room is so ridiculous. But I say all of that. Why did I even just tell y'all that whole like welcome to my nightmare story? Because I've moved this book from down here to upstairs into the actual like built-ins in my office, back down here. It's been on the TBR, like different shelves of the TBR cart. And now it's on my Valentine's Day TBR, Love in Other Words. This is Christina Lauren. And this was like seriously a year ago, I had this idea of doing a reading books by authors that I think I don't like, but other people like, so I think I should like them. And Christina Lauren is one of them, because the only book I've read by Christina Lauren, and Christina Lauren or Christina and Lauren, it's two people, so I don't know how you're supposed to refer to them, so I just use the whole like Christina Lauren name. But people who like Christina Lauren love in Other Words, and I got this really cute version of it. So I keep moving it around, but I haven't, did I finish telling the story about, so I was going to do this whole like second chance vlog where I read books by authors that I didn't like other books of theirs, like the Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow author. I was going to read another one of Zevin, is that her name? I was going to read one of hers and I was going to read this. Well, that never came to fruition, so I keep just moving this around, and now it's on this TBR. So Love in Other Words, I think is maybe, I feel like this is another one of those, I feel like I knew more about this when I talked about it before, but maybe I also didn't know anything about it then. Maybe a second chance romance, like the FMC runs into her like past crush who's the MMC, I don't know. But we're actually going to read this book at some point. So I know that was super like commitmental, right? Y'all don't judge me. Twisted Love. I really want to start reading these. We talked about this not long. Was this on my January book haul? I think this was one of my January books. The Bodyguard, maybe. I know I knew more about this before. The Bodyguard is the dude like protecting his best friend's sister or something, and y'all know that's off limits. So you know that's totally going to happen. And they end up like staying together in the guest house or something. So there's like forced proximity and like, I can't mess with you, but I'm going to mess with you. And I think there are some steamy scenes in here. And y'all, I have gotten so much better about reading steamy scenes. So I believe Lucy's score has made me a little less, puritanical about reading steamy scenes. So I believe I know that this has steamy scenes, so we'll see how we do with that. Speaking of steamy scenes, I don't know that this has steam in it, but I got it from Goodwill Online. The Deal. This came about, for me anyway, because somebody was talking about the book. Is it The Graham Effect? Graham something. And that book is like a spinoff of a spinoff of these books. These are the off-campus book series. And sorry about this cover. There's another cover. I'll put it here. It's way cuter than this. I didn't really mean to get this cover, but this is what I got. It's a hockey player romance, I think. So it's a campus romance, college campus, hockey player, and that's all I know. It's the first one in a series of like 8. So if we like it, y'all, we could be onto something here. No, I do know more. He ends up... Snap. I feel like I'm mixing up a bunch of them. It's a hockey player and a smart girl, but I don't know the dynamic. But there are a bunch of these, and if we like it, then we might be onto something. Because there's this series, and then there's the one that The Graham Effect is, and I think there's another series too. I think L. Kennedy has a bunch of books. So, and I think I got the Briar U series. I think that's where they go to college. They go to Briar College. Now I know things. Okay, so that helped. They go to this, maybe it's a little private college in Boston, Chicago, Boston, somewhere. And the hockey player guy, his dad is a big time NHL player. So he's kind of Mr. BMOC. And she, the smart girl, is not, aside from this picture, the smart girl is not like buying into his whole shtick. So I'm totally faking it, y'all. I do not know, but I will read it and I'll let you know because I'm really excited about that one. Icebreaker's back on the list because it got kind of booted a little bit because I was worried about the steam, but then I was like, I'm grown, I can read steam. So it's going in my hockey player romance pile. This one was the one, we did talk about this before. I know we did. We talked about it when I got it. I don't think it was on a TBR, but it was in a book haul. That hockey player and figure skater. Now, I'm totally judging the book by its cover, but I assume that they end up in like a grumpy romance kind of situation because hockey players and figure skaters feud in real life over ice time. So I assume there's some kind of like grumpy romance going on between the two of them because, totally guessing, I will read this and let you know, but I'm guessing that the hockey team gets ice time and the figure skaters are mad because the figure skaters need ice time too and the hockey players are... I almost said manipulating. No, monopolizing the good ice time. So the figure skaters probably end up skating at like 4 a.m. Totally guessing, but I'll read it and let you know. And finally, last but not least, Magnolia Parks. I don't know anything in the world about Magnolia Parks except that there is a hardcover of this book that I am ensorcelled with and I can't find it anywhere. And when I do find it, it's like $300. No, I'm not paying $300 for a hardcover of a book. But I think Magnolia Parks is a hot mess, and I think she is in a maybe not abusive, but just like maybe not healthy relationship with this guy. I know so much about this book. And I think the people don't like I have seen critiques of there's like a whole series of books, and they call it the Magnolia Parks verse. Like there's this whole universe of Magnolia Parks books and peoples. And yeah, people don't like it because of the relationship that she's in with this dude. So y'all know I'm down for a skeevy relationship. So, I mean, for reading about a skeevy relationship. Well, anyway, we don't need to get into all that. It's a whole overly personal, y'all. So, Magnolia Parks. And so that, my friends, is my Valentine. I'm going to try to pick these books up and not club myself in the head with it. Y'all go ahead and take some odds on whether or not this is going to work. But that, oh, I think I got it. No, I don't. That's my Valentine's Day TBR. So y'all, let me know a couple things. What's on your Valentine's Day TBR? And what's on your just any old day PBR? What's on your purchase before reading list? What do you have to be comfortable when you read? I did a like gifts for readers list for Christmas. And I forgot a few things, like I forgot a snuggly blanket and big warm socks on that list because, y'all, I always wear big warm socks because I live in the Arctic, and you've seen my couches. They're covered in snuggly blankets. So what other obvious things do you, well, I shouldn't say did I leave off that list because I don't expect you to go back and research that list, but let us know in the comments, what things do you have to be comfortable when you read? Because I'm going to put together a PBR list, a purchase before reading list, and I would love to have your input. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we're most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos at the beginning of every week with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.